countdown and our headlines of the day. Make sure that you're following our hosts in the club. And if you're on our live stream, hey everybody, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. You can also register for free at our website. That's musicindustrycity.com. And there you can gain access to the multitude of other incredible content from musicians and for music industry professionals. We're going to be beginning our countdown here shortly, but I just want to say a quick hello to Angela. How are you today, Angela? Our UK correspondent.
Hey, Eli. Good to see you. Glad to be back.
It's great to see you too. From Music Industry City Broadcast Network, this is today's Music News at Noon. We begin our countdown now.
From New York, it's the Music News at Noon on the Music Industry City Broadcast Network. I'm Peter Schwing, and please join me in welcoming my co-hosts Eli Window and UK correspondent Angela Randall.
Hello, Peter. Hello, Angela. And hi, everybody. It's great to see you.
Hello.
All right, and in today's news, 1 out of 5 indie venue grant applications were denied. Twitter turns a blind eye to piracy. Y2mate shuts down. Labels plot response to UK streaming report. Party detectives are now a thing in Ibiza. And as always, our daily Spotify update. Those stories are coming up. But first, let's take a look at this day in music history with Eli Window. Eli.
Thanks, Peter. Let's take a look at this day in music history. On this date, August 3rd, in the year 2000, Maurice Kin died aged 76. The UK publisher launched the New Musical Express in 1953, which instigated the first UK charts based on record sales. This was first published on the 14th of November, 1952, and organized the annual NME Poll Winners concerts between 1963 and 1966. And also in memory, on August 3rd, 2001, we lost co-founder of US group Fifth Dimension, Ron Townsend, who died of kidney failure, aged 68. He had the 1969 single, Aquarius. Moving on, birthdays today. Happy birthday today to American singer Tony Bennett, born this date, 1926. Also, born this date, 1951, John Graham, guitarist with Earth, Wind and Fire. And born this date, 1959, Martin Adkins from Public Image Limited. Born this date, 1961, American double bass player Lee Rocker with the Stray Cats. Born this date, August 3rd, 1963, James Hetfield from Metallica. And born this date, 1973, Stephen Carpenter from the band Deftones. Happy birthday all around. Moving on to this day in music history. On August 3rd, 1987, Def Leppard released their fourth studio album, Hysteria, which became their best-selling album to date, selling over 20 million copies worldwide. The title of the album was thought up by the drummer Rick Allen, relating to his experiences during the time of his car accident and the worldwide media coverage which followed. On this date, 1999, Patsy Cline received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Prior to her death at the age of 30 in a private plane crash, she was at the height of her career. She is considered to be one of the most influential, successful, and acclaimed female vocalists of the 20th century. And on August 3rd, 2007, Queen guitarist Brian May handed in his astronomy PhD thesis, 36 years after abandoning it to join the band. May had recently carried out observational work in Tenerife, where he studied the formation of zodiacal dust clouds. And that's it. Quite a celestial day for this day in music history. Back over to my co-host, Peter Schwing. Peter.
I wonder if I should submit my physics final to my 8th grade professor.
Well, I guess it's just never too late now, is it? You can always slide that thesis under the office door.
I also want to give my own personal shout out and happy birthday to Martin Atkins. I already did so on Twitter, and if anybody follows Martin, I mean, his Twitter is amazing. He's such an amazing person. The book "Welcome to the Music Industry, Now You're Fucked," and so everything he says earmuffs everybody if you don't like the F-bomb. But it's like he's like every morning, it's like get the fuck out of bed. That's how he starts everything. But I also want to congratulate him. 5 months, 21 days sobriety. So way to go, Martin. And for anybody else that is going, doing it, making it happen, congratulations, keep going. All right, so to set the stage for the conversation, we bring you summaries and commentary on the latest headlines. If you'd like to offer your thoughts on one of today's topics, request to join the stage during the roundtable segment. I'd also like to thank everyone who's tuning in and viewing the show on our live video stream and joining the members-only newsroom live discussion thread on musicindustrycity.com. And if you want to check out the live stream, just go to musicindustrycity.com and you can see us, or you can go to our YouTube. To stay up to date on this and other programming, make sure to sign up for free at musicindustrycity.com for more news and articles. Now let's get to it. All right, and this first piece is from Billboard.com. To access all the articles mentioned in today's show, visit musicindustrycity.com and you can view today's Music News at Noon post. So just look for the graphic. There's a post right there, and you can watch the video live stream. You can also comment in the chat there. We have a forum-like, feed, and also all the headlines. So it's right at musicindustrycity.com. All right, with that being said, 1 out of 5 indie venue grant applications were denied, but most don't know why. According to the Small Business Administration, all 15,429 applicants for the federal Shuttered Venue Operators Grant Program will learn this week whether or not they have been approved for financing. As of August 2nd, more than 10,400 live music enterprises have been certified for nearly $8 billion of the more than $16 billion set aside for the grant. Another 2,993 applications, or roughly 1/5, were turned down. The SBA has not offered any grounds for refusal to those applicants, which it informs Billboard is due to its effort to speed the application decisioning process. However, this has irritated business owners and those who have asked with the SBA about the grounds for their declines have received an email sending them to the SBA, quote, an eligibility matrix, including some common reasons an entity is found ineligible. Many music venues, promoters, and talent agencies have been operating without revenue for the past 16 months, and the grant program has been a lifeline for businesses struggling to pay rent, insurance, and other expenditures. Daniel Maris, owner of Chaos Productions and Spin Nightclub in San Diego, who was declined the grant, said, quote, I spent 250 hours of my own manpower getting my documentation together, having to go through getting all the documents from promoters, getting all of our blueprints and all our schematics for the sound and lighting. It was just a lot of paperwork. Our decline sent a big shockwave through the system because everyone was like, if you're not awarded, what in the world is going on here? You're a venue through and through. The eligibility matrix alone is 11 pages long, and some categories such as, quote, live performers are ambiguous. Despite being ineligible according to the matrix, multiple escape rooms, as well as at least one strip club in Louisiana, have been given funding. It's unclear how many of the over 2,900 businesses who were denied believe they were wrongfully denied the award, but the SBA said they will begin accepting appeals as of yesterday. There's a lot more in this story, and you check it out on Billboard. It's the questions are like, what constitutes live performers? What constitutes a live venue? One, they were talking about this restaurant that there's tax implications, and there was live music on the top floor of the restaurant, and it's no longer a restaurant. So there's all these different criteria, and so there's a lot of people scrambling, and hopefully this gets all sorted out for them. All right, from Torrent Freak, and we covered this a little while ago. Cox prioritize profits over limiting piracy, the record labels tell the court. The internet service provider lost a legal battle with the coalition of major record companies 2 years ago. A Virginia jury found Cox accountable for pirating subscribers after repeatedly accusing the corporation of failing to cancel accounts and ordered the company to pay $1 billion in damages. The ISP appealed the judgment because it disagreed with it. Cox contended in its initial brief submitted last May to the Court of Appeals for the Fourth Circuit that it's being held incorrectly accountable for pirating subscribers. According to Cox's lawyers, the music industry is fighting a war on the internet. The music industry, notably Warner Brothers and Sony Music, responded to Cox's opening brief a few days ago. The plaintiffs create a different image, emphasizing that the ISP is far from blameless. The music business argues that the district court was aware that certain subscribers were repeat copyright infringers. Cox has terminated 600,000 members for failing to pay their payments during the time period covered by the case. At the same time, only 32 repeat copyright infringers lost internet access, representing a small percentage of the total. And according to the music business, Cox prioritized profits over limiting infringement time and again. They collecting subscription fees from infringers over addressing its pervasive infringement problem. Overall, the music industry believes that this district court correctly determined that Cox is liable for both contributory and vicariously copyright infringement. Furthermore, they see no reason to reduce the $1 billion damages and award. All right, let's talk about, when we talk about copyright, let's talk about Twitter. We're going to be talking about a lot of the socials today. We got more coming up in the tech segment in a little bit, but we're going to touch on this one early. This is from Variety. Twitter is turning a blind eye to music copyright infringement, according to U.S. representatives. A bipartisan group of 22 members of the House of Representatives sent a letter Monday to Twitter and Jack Dorsey demanding the social network address the, quote, ongoing problem of copyright infringement on Twitter and the platform's apparent refusal to address it. The letter partially reads, Twitter has not acquired licenses necessary to ensure that all creators are properly compensated for use of their works. Given the pervasiveness of this issue, we would like to have a better understanding of how Twitter intends to effectively address those concerns. The lawmakers point out that in the first half of 2020, Twitter reported receiving 1.6 million takedown notices for copyright infringement. The letter continues, quote, additional infringing content almost certainly goes undiscovered as Twitter has taken the unprecedented step of charging creators for a fully functional search API that can identify instances of infringement at scale. And the company, Twitter, said, we're committed to providing transparency around unlawful uses of copyrighted material on our servers, and we'll continue to partner with artists, rights holders, and elected officials on these issues. So this is all, DMCA. We've seen Twitch have their DMCA. Everybody gets their day of reckoning when it comes to the DMCA. So it's just something that you all have to deal with. Pay the licensing. I mean, they make enough money. They can pay for licenses. Make it happen. And speaking of DMCA, we're going to go to YouTube in a way. This is Y2mate. And I don't know how many people have used this. Maybe I've used it once or twice when I needed something to get an edit or something like that. But so I'm aware of it. I didn't even know it still existed. I remember this from years ago. But Y2mate, one of the world's largest YouTube to MP3 converters, officially shuts down. And this one is from Digital Music News. And it's the most popular YouTube to MP3 converters. It's gone offline, at least in the United States and Australia. The site now reads, our service has been discontinued as of August 1st, 2021. Thank you all. However, it's still accessible in various Asian and European nations. The suspension appears to be the result of a long-running conflict with the RIAA, which represents major record firms Universal, Warner, and Sony. The RIAA initiated a massive campaign against Y2mate in May of 2019, according to Digital Music News, including submitting subpoenas to domain name registrant NameSecure and CDN Cloudflare. That could have been a part of a far larger attack against the video stream ripper in many nations around the world. However, it is uncertain whether Y2mate will be shut down in individual regions or on a global scale. And according to SimilarWeb, the stream ripper receives over 128 million visitors every month. And that's primarily in the United States, Mexico, India, Japan, and Colombia. All right, with that, let's check back in with Eli.
All right, let's check in with me. And while Peter, my co host, is checking in with me, don't forget to check in with your friends. Your friends can join in the discussion the same way that you can by chiming in the chat or requesting to come to the stage if you have something to contribute. And don't forget, you can chime in the chat also just by typing if you're watching on our video live stream. Hello to all of our viewers. If you're listening and you'd like to watch us on the live stream, go to our website where you can tune in and also access all of our other content and articles, including, this is cool, our weekday 3-minute music news podcast. This is where we keep you up to date on items that maybe won't be covered here in the music news at noon. Sometimes new releases, sometimes tours or musical chairs or business or tech news. And just like the title of the podcast says, this is all in 3 minutes or less. So make sure you visit the website and check that out daily. We want to thank you again for joining us today and each weekday, Monday through Thursday, for the music news at noon, 12 Eastern, live from New York City. Let's continue on now with our headlines of the day. Label's plot response to scathing UK streaming report. Is a similar one coming to the US? With more on this headline, we go to our UK correspondent, Angela Randall. Angela?
Thank you, Eli. The report calls for a, quote, complete reset of the streaming economy and recommends measures such as granting performers the right to equitable digital music remuneration, as well as referring the major music companies to the Competition and Markets Authority to probe their, quote, market dominance. While the government's response is not expected until early to mid-September, it's under no obligation to follow the recommendations record labels and their trade associations, many of whom felt the committee's approach gave them few opportunities to demonstrate the value they bring to artists' careers, still have a chance to lobby ministers. While many on the label side agree that adjustments to legacy contracts and recoupment practices are required, insiders tell Variety that they're working on bringing new data to the government to contest the necessity of some of the committee's recommendations. There's also the possibility of behind-the-scenes agreements that could avoid any regulatory/legislative approach. Both the hashtag broken record and hashtag fix streaming campaigns have stated that they would welcome negotiations with labels, though the three majors and numerous indies have taken opposing viewpoints. The report urges Warner and Universal to follow Sony's stance, but neither company has responded. However, according to Variety, both companies were already looking at contract reform ideas before the story was released. Obviously, we've been covering this one in the Music News at Noon for some time, and there seems to be an onslaught from independent artists and small independent labels who are definitely trying to make their voices heard with regard to streaming, with regard to legacy payments for legacy acts, and for just reform, all told, when it comes to how the industry reports its streaming, how it's paid for its streaming, how charts are calculated. It's kind of an overhaul that's going on behind the scenes here, and we're sort of picking up on this piece at a time as information is being released. We'll certainly, of course, keep you abreast of all the information as it comes out, but this is just another step in the direction of hopefully starting those negotiations to get better pay for artists and for the labels to have the representation they feel they deserve as well.
Right, and this
Back to
goes
you guys.
right. Thank you for that. And this goes back to like December when they started those UK parliamentary inquiries, and with Nile Rodgers and a few others that were involved in this. Correct?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we're all very aware now of an organization called Hypnosis, which has been sort of buying up catalogs and keeping quite a large supply of catalogs on hand. We've all been speculating as to what they're planning to do with them, and it would seem now that with this sort of coming upon us, that they seem to be a big lobbyist group for the benefit of just renegotiating how the music industry is paid and how it pays itself. And they have a large market share in that department now. So hopefully they can use their power for good as opposed to evil. And it looks like the three majors and some of the larger indies are stepping up to those negotiations now, according to this article. So yeah, we'll hopefully have more news as soon as the other side responds.
All right. Thanks for that. All right, let's stay with the UK and some European updates really quick. So this one is Liverpool Sound City announces return to the city centre. and lineup. So after more than 13 years, the festival is returning to the heart of the city center where it originally kicked off its festivities. And the announcement arrives following the reopening of live venues last month with the lifting of COVID restrictions on July 19th. The government recommends that events require guests to have had a negative test result or proof of double vaccination. It has previously stated that proof of double vaccination will be required in certain venues from the end of September. The festival, originally due to take place April 30th to May 3rd, will run from October 1st through the 3rd instead and take place across locations including the Arts Clubs, Central Hall, Grand Central Hall, the Shipping Forecast, and many other places. So great to hear that it's opening back up and good to see. On the other side of the coin is Dutch festival organizers dealt another big blow, and this one is in IQ Mag. And the Dutch government has announced that only small one-day festivals will be permitted to take place in the Netherlands this summer. Events with a maximum of attendance of 750 people can be held starting on August 14th if a number of conditions are met. Attendees must be completely vaccinated, have recovered from an infection within the last 6 months, or have a negative testing for access test. Visitors are also required to take a test 5 days following the event. Closed festival tents are not permitted during the event. Multi-day festivals with overnight stays are prohibited until at least September 1st, after the government extended the ban last week. Events that do not match the aforementioned requirements will be excluded from the government's guaranteed fund. Along with the regulations for the event industry, Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte declared that persons who receive the Janssen vaccine will not be deemed fully vaccinated for 4 weeks rather than 2. All right. And Party Detectives, this one from Mixmag. This one I got a kick out of, and I shot it over to my friend who was just in Ibiza. And he laughed and he said, people thought he was one of these. They were giving him weird looks. So the reason behind this is party detectives to be sent out across Ibiza as COVID cases skyrocket. The party detectives will be sought out to assist the police and will be asked to join illicit raves dressed in plain clothes to report anything that violates local lockdown rules to official authorities. Positive cases in Spain have been progressively declining as of last week, but a massive rise in the Balearic Islands is currently endangering Spain's continuous lockdown. Officials in Spain believe this is related to illegal parties on the island of Ibiza. During the pandemic, the party district was mostly closed. Some clubs have reopened with outside dance floors and capacity limits, as well as tighter regulations, but the tourist destination remains largely shuttered. Illegal parties are said to have taken place around the island during this time, and party organizers might now face fines of up to 600,000 euros. In recent weeks, new rules have been implemented, including a prohibition on mixed household meetings at particular times. And counsels Mariano Juan told Dario de Ibiza, police themselves say it's difficult for them to infiltrate as they aren't known to locals, so we have to look outside for help. Earlier this month, the Spanish organization Ocio de Ibiza declared that any DJs or artists hosting illegal parties will be barred from Ibiza's top clubs. They go on to add, the majority of parties are taking place in private spaces such as homes and hired land, overwhelming police as they become an endemic problem. I just want to point out what they say. These party detectives are going to infiltrate raves as plain clothes. What exactly does that mean when it comes to raves? What is plain clothes when it comes to raves?
Is that like a gumshoe who tries to sniff out fun shoe? I don't know. How does this work? I'm very curious. I want to keep an eye on this headline. This is interesting to me.
Right. Basically, what they do is they crash the party and then they go snitch and tell mom and dad that your brother or sisters have had a party over the weekend while they were away.
I'm thinking if they have too wide leg jeans, their hair in odd colors, and they're wearing way too many 90s throwback fashions, they might stand out like a sore thumb. You gotta be subtle. So just a tip to any of you future party detectives out there, less is more.
Right on. All right, we just got a couple more articles left. Let's talk about Twitch. And this one, for those who are on Twitch, You know how annoying those ad pre-rolls can be. You want to even check out a stream, and you've never checked out before, and you're stuck watching 30 seconds of whatever it is, and usually it's loud and epic, and you just mute it, and then you forget that you actually have that tab open. But this one, they're saying from The Verge, Twitch's new ads are way less disruptive. Twitch is testing a new ad format for streamers that appears to be less disruptive than pre- and mid-roll commercials that take over a full stream. The new advertising, known as stream display ads, appears beneath or around someone's stream but do not prevent you from seeing or hearing what's going on. According to a Twitch FAQ, the adverts will last 10 seconds and you will be unable to close or minimize them as they are displayed. They'll appear automatically, and Twitch says that no more than 8 will appear in an hour, though they add this quantity might fluctuate as demand changes. 8 in an hour? That is a lot. I mean, for these streams that go on for, this is going with the YouTube. Like, is Twitch going to say, hey, sign up for our premium subscription and you don't have to pay for ads? Oh, wait. Oh, you have that. So you're already paying for a subscription to the streamer, so you don't have to pay for ads. Now, there's the question. When you are subscribed to a streamer and you're paying for them, you don't have to get those pre and mid-roll ads. Are these still going to pop up? Is this a Twitch ad that's separate than the streamer because it's a pop-up? So these are, questions that need to be answered. And, are you going to get so sick of it? You're like, well, I can't pay the subscription rate of $9.99. How about I pay the $6.99 rate and I only see 2 ads per hour as opposed to 8 or more? And with that being said, it's our favorite time of the music news.
Big green dot hits the spot. The big green dot. It does hit the spot. It is now time for our Spotify spot, where we take a look at the latest updates from our streaming service. But before we do that, we do want to check in with your weather. The stars tonight will be big and bright, whether or not you're deep in the heart of Texas. And now over to my co-host Peter Schwing for today's Spotify spot. Peter.
All right. And this is from The Verge as well. And this is Spotify is testing a less restrictive ad-supported tier costing 99 cents a month. Wait, haven't we heard this somewhere? YouTube, maybe Twitch is going to do it. Well, Spotify's testing it out. It's Spotify Plus, which is a new low-cost subscription option that combines components of the streaming service's existing free and premium tiers. The plan still includes adverts, similar to Spotify's free tier, but there are no limits to the number of tracks you can skip every hour. Users can also choose which exact songs they wish to listen to, rather than being restricted to shuffling between albums and playlists. It has been offered up for 99 cents per month, a tenth of the cost of Spotify's usual $9.99 premium tier, but it is thought that the Spotify test involves randomly presenting the new plan at a number of price points to evaluate customer interest. Since 2018, Spotify's free tier has been in its current form. It does not allow users to skip more than 6 tracks per hour and only allows them to select and listen to specific tracks from 15 playlists, ranging from editorially selected playlists to algorithmically creating collections such as Discover Weekly and The Daily Mix. Free users can only listen to shuffled music outside of these playlists. The new Spotify Plus tier is a reasonably inexpensive solution to remove some of those constraints. And Spotify confirmed in a statement to The Verge that we are always looking to enhance the Spotify experience, and we routinely conduct tests to inform our decisions. We are currently conducting a test of ad-supported subscription plan with a limited number of users. However, Spotify cautioned that there's no guarantee that the new tier will launch in its current form. They continue, quote, some tests end up paving the way for new offerings or enhancements, while others may only provide learnings. We don't have any additional information to share at this time. All right, and that's it for our reads. Let's open it up to the round table. I'm going to put 5 minutes on the clock here. And if there is anyone that would like to offer up any comments, now is your chance to chime in the live stream chat. Or if you want to request to join the stage, now's your opportunity.
Well, You know, as we invite folks to join the stage, I just kind of want to share a final thought of mine. And I know that Peter could see it. Not all of our viewers on the live stream could see it because I was not on screen at the moment. But Peter saw me had to go get a tissue and wipe my eyes and my nose as he was reading the SVOG headline. And it's really heartbreaking to me that venues in the U.S. have had to struggle and strive so very hard during the pandemic just to make it and stay alive, while we see other governments taking a stand to protect their venues. And I just really do hope that appeals are processed in a timely fashion for those who are filing SBOG appeals. Make sure that you stay on top of deadlines if that's you. And I truly hope that appeals that should rightfully be approved will be approved during the appeal process for those SBOG applicants. Because, wow, if money is medicine for these venues, then these venues can't wait much longer for their medicine. So thanks, Peter, again for including the SBOG and the live sector news here in the Music News Power Hour. But I want to offer the floor to anyone who wants to chime in the chat or raise their hand, or to our UK correspondent, Angela Randall, for some final thoughts. We have just a few minutes on the clock here.
I think I agree with you wholeheartedly, Eli, and it's hard to watch. Obviously, I live in the UK, but I am an American, and I cut my teeth in the music business over there in many venues across the US. So I'm definitely feeling for all of you guys who are just trying to preserve the legacy of your institutions, and those venues are definitely institutions. I think another key sort of takeaway from today's news broadcast is that we're sick of ads. So to change tack a bit, maybe hopefully somebody's listening, because it seems Twitch, YouTube, Spotify, everybody are trying to find new ways to get us out of ads. And maybe if some of those sponsors turned around to the venues and said, "Hey, what can we do to help?" Who knows? Maybe it's a new recommendation that someone will hear in this room and take forward to give them some support. So take your ads off of our streaming channels and put them on the side of a venue to help them get some money to get back up on their feet. Who knows? Fingers crossed.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
You know what? Stranger things have happened in social media world and online, especially during the pandemic, as we all come together in every way that we can. Thank you for coming together with us today. And don't forget, you can find all of our show headlines at musicindustrycity.com. And as we wrap up, we want to remind you that you can join us each and every weekday, Monday through Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern. We're the Music News at Noon, live from New York City. You can visit our website to stay up to date on all the current happenings in the music industry. You can join our community. You can access all kinds of amazing resources, all this and more at our website. That's musicindustrycity.com. My name is Eli Window, and on behalf of our UK correspondent, Angela Randall, I want to thank you so much for being part of today's broadcast. And I want to ask Peter if you have any final thoughts for us today, my co-host, Peter Schwing.
Right on. Yeah, it's my thing is we talk about different type of economies, and you're going to hear the buzzwords collaborative economy. I like to think as advertising as the interruption economy. They create an entire economy based on interrupting people by forcing ads in their face to interrupt them from streaming, from scrolling, from whatever it is. And it's not like an ad as a billboard. A billboard is something you're driving, you're walking by, and it's there. It's not interrupting you. It's not interrupting forward progress or flow. It's there. You can look up. Now, what we've seen over the past few years, it's gotten so bad that it's an interruption economy. And therefore, how do you get rid of it? Give us money and we won't serve ads to you. We've interrupted you and we've made things so annoying and uncomfortable for you, and we're going to make it worse for you unless you give us money. Isn't there a term for that? Isn't that called extortion? I don't know. That's just my 2 cents and my final thoughts. Anyway, everybody have a great day. We're going to be back here tomorrow. We do the music morning show at 11 a.m. It's now we combined the 2 rooms into 1 room. So we do at 11 a.m. Eastern. It's tips and talk. It's informal conversation. We talk about a lot of different things that go on there. Then we do the music news at noon. coming to you at 12 p.m. Eastern. So, and of course, you can check out the news articles at musicindustrycity.com to click on the today's date of the music news at noon and make sure to register for free. And with that being said, thank you, Angela. Thank you, Eli. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. Oh, wait, somebody, I just want to okay. Tetro's over there on the live stream says, we interrupt this program to bring you an important message. Sounds like a protection racket. Hey,
I thought he was going to tell us about our car's extended warranty for a second there.
Yeah, I love this. It's like, hey, welcome to the neighborhood. We see you opened up a new business. Things get pretty rowdy around here, and you wouldn't want anybody breaking into your business and stealing anything. Now, we have this. We offer a protection service for you. You just pay us, $5,000 a month, and we make sure that nobody breaks into your building. Oh, well, let me get back to you, okay? Oh, and I'll get back to you next week. And somehow that building got broken into over the weekend. You should have taken that protection racket money. All right. And with that, now let's wrap up. Have a great day, everybody.
Cheerio.
Cheerio. It's great to see you all. I hope you have a wonderful day today. We'll see you tomorrow.